Hi friends, welcome to Sing with Grace Studios. Today we are going to learn how to write our very own story. Before I teach you how to write your very own story, can I ask you a question? Have you written a story before, or have you had ideas in your head and you thought, oh, I could write a book? Yes. Sometimes I'm flying over the city and I get an idea and I go, oh, that would be a perfect story. So whether you have ideas that you want to someday turn into a book and publish, or if you just want to practice storytelling, either way, this episode should help you learn what's inside a story and how to write your very own. Before you write a story, it's very important to understand the things that make up a story. There are 5 really important ingredients or parts to a story. The first part of a story is your setting. Where does a story take place? The second part of your story would be the characters. Is there one character? Are there 2? Is there a bunny? Is there a tiger? Is there a lizard? Is there a human, a fairy? The third part of a story is the plot, or what the story is about. And inside the plot, you usually have something called the climax, which is the most exciting part of the story. The fourth part of a story is going to be called the conflict or the problem, something that happens in the story that needs a solution. Number 5 is the solution or resolution to that conflict or problem. For example, if you look at the story Little Red Riding Hood, let's take a look and see how that story is put together. First, you have the setting, and in Little Red Riding Hood, the setting takes place in the forest. And the characters in Little Red Riding Hood, you have Little Red, you have the big bad wolf, and the grandma, and some other characters too. Plot of that story is she's on an adventure to go visit her grandmother. The conflict or the problem in that story is, what happens? The big bad wolf comes and tries to hurt Little Red Riding Hood, right? And 5th, the solution to that problem or the resolution is, what? The hunter comes and saves Little Red Riding Hood, right? And makes the wolf run away. In addition to the 5 parts of a story, it's very, very important to remember that your imagination is key to writing a story. Without your thoughts and your imagination going to work, there would be no story, right? So we want to honor our imagination and honor your imagination. So can we say thank you to our imagination and our mind right now? Let's take a moment. Thank you, imagination, for being so wonderful. Okay, let's write a story. So what I have today is something called my story jar. And I have little characters inside my story jar, like a bumblebee and a lion, a frog. We have lots of different characters. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to think of a setting that I want my characters to be in. I'm gonna say, let's be at the ocean. It's been hot lately, so I'm feeling the ocean waves. And your setting can change as your story goes along as well. I'm gonna pick some characters to be a part of my story. Let's see. I'm gonna pick a turtle and a frog and a bumblebee. Okay, these are gonna be my 3 characters. A turtle, a frog, and a bumblebee. Okay, now for the 3rd part of a story, the plot. What is gonna happen? I'm not sure yet. I'm creating this right now as I go along. I'm gonna think about it for a little bit, and then I'm gonna come up with something. And remember, in your plot, you're gonna have something that might go wrong or something that's happening that needs a solution. So let's think about that. If you want to speak your story out loud, you're welcome to, or you can write it down. Or if you have a mobile device or an iPad that your parents let you use, you can use a recording device and speak your story into that device. Okay, I'm gonna give you 10 seconds to come up with an idea for a story using these 3 characters. You can use one of them if you want. You don't have to include all of them. It's your choice. But I'm gonna use all 3, and I'm gonna think to myself and then share it with you. Now, this is my favorite part of story writing, is coming up with an idea. If you already have an idea, that's so awesome. Now, what we're doing is we're using our imagination, and as we create, we're doing something called improvising. Can you say improvising? Improvising. Yes, it's when we create something new. One day, there was a little bumblebee. And this bumblebee's name was Sam. And Sam loved the sunshine. And so Sam decided, I'm gonna fly down to the beach because it's a very, very sunny day. And so the bumblebee flew all the way down to the beach, the ocean, and it saw the ocean waves. And it rested on a flower. And next to the flower was a frog. And the frog jumped up. Boing! Bumblebee, you scared me. The frog was very scared of the bee. It was startled. And the bee said, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to scare you. And the frog said, that's all right. Have a beautiful day. And the frog hopped away. Boing, boing. Say bye, frog. Bye, frog. Boing. As the bee saw the frog leave, the bee decided to fly over the ocean waves. And as the bee was flying, it saw something in the water. It was a turtle. But something was wrong with the turtle. The bee flew down to the turtle and said, how can I help you, turtle? Are you stuck? The turtle said, I am so glad that you came my way, little bee, because yes, I am stuck. Can you see the seaweed on me? And the bumblebee said, well, let me go and get my other bee friends and we can pull you out to the shore. So the bee flew off really quickly and brought back a whole swarm of bee friends. Oh, you've returned, said the turtle. I'm so glad you came back. And the bees dropped a rope to the turtle and said, hold on. Woo! And as the bees were flying and pulling the turtle started to fly in the sky with the bees. Woo-wee! And they made it safely to the shore. Thank you so much for helping me, said the turtle. Oh, you're very welcome. I'm so glad that I decided to play in the sun today and follow my heart because it led me straight to you. Have a beautiful day. Bye. Bzz. And the bee flew away and the turtle was saved. The end. Thank you so much for listening to my story that I just created. Isn't that so fun? Your imagination can think of so many wild, wonderful, magical things just by having a couple prompts and things in front of you. Help stir your imagination and create new ideas. So if you have a story that you wrote about these 3 characters, you can write it down or send it to me and I'd love to read what you created. And I hope that you can write your own stories or speak your own stories out loud to your parents or your friends or to yourself. I am gonna leave you with one more exciting little challenge. I'm gonna pull out one of these characters and I want you to create a new story based on what character I pull out, okay? I'm gonna close my eyes. Okay, it's a daisy. Can you write a story about a daisy or flowers? If you don't want to write about a daisy, that's okay. You can choose anything to write about. But again, if you want to share something with me, I'd love to hear it. You can email me at singwithgracestudios@gmail.com. Thank you so much for creating new things with me today. I'm so glad that you were here with me to play, and I'm so excited to see you next time. Remember, you are wonderful, and you make this world more colorful just by being you. Bye.
You are so